Major M.F. Timmis compiled a secret military eyes-only British Army Intelligence Summary (INSUM) for the period for the brigade commander of 39 Brigade, who was in charge of the British Army in Belfast and Greater Belfast. The INSUM records a report from the 2nd Battalion Parachute Regiment, 2 Para, then covering the Shankill area on the night of 2nd of April. Quote,
5 truckloads of armed personnel UVF were to move to Ballymurphy that night. Most of these were ex-servicemen. Weapons to be used included 38 caliber and 45 caliber revolvers.
The UVF was a proscribed organisation, of course, but rather than arrest them,
2 Para were able to dissuade the organisers from their lawless but pro-military intentions, at least for the time being. The Para's intelligence was from a named source that was confirmed as a UVF group second in command who claimed a personal command of 40 men and on-call strength of 500.
It appears from the British Army INSUM the 2 Para were not happy, but not for reasons that some of you may suspect. 2 Para commented,
A main issue was outrage at the situation in which army personnel currently found themselves. B, this section of the UVF is clearly well organised, with the majority of its members ex-servicemen. Arms are available, discipline is firm. This is borne out by the successful calling off of a paramilitary operation under emotional duress. C, in view of the awareness along the peace line that the injury of any soldier of the Para regiment will bring strong UVF reprisals, it is probable that many of this area's ex-military membership are ex-airborne forces. D, this particular UVF group is unlikely to carry out acts of sabotage.
2 Para had decided that this was the pro-military, well-organised and armed-friendly UVF. A series of bomb attacks began the following day in the Protestant Shankill area, which British military intelligence posited were the work of the local UVF. The British Military Intelligence Summary records, quote,
a wave of bomb attacks began on the 3rd of April and has not yet abated. A number of the attacks appear to have a specific motive, but others smack of arbitrariness, at least as far as their immediate target was concerned. The general intention could be solely to maintain the state of tension. Alternatively, the aim could be, as in earlier occasions, to discredit both government and security forces with the subsidiary intention of promoting sectarian indignation.
It then lists the wave of bomb attacks, beginning with one against Eagle Taxis in the Shankill, which was last attacked by the UVF in January, as it was then Catholic owned.
A 27th March. 2 bombs were discovered at 145 Agnes Street. Each consisted of 2 half-pound sticks of Unigel. The brunt of any explosion would have been taken for the second time by Eagle Taxis next door. Last attack 26th of January 1970. B 3rd April 23:40 hours. Cairns Furniture Shop at Shankill/Malvern. A small device was used. The premises belonged to the Lord Mayor. C 4th April 04:50 hours. John Temple Tailor's Shop, 74 Royal Avenue. This charge was estimated to be £5 to 4th April 09:20 hours. Christie's Wallpaper Shop, 55 Rosemary Street. A small incendiary device with a clothes peg and solder wire delay mechanism. Owner of the premises was USC Commandant for Belfast and Deputy Mayor. E 4th April 09:30 hours. McQuoid Estate Agents, 47 Lower Donegal Street. This time there were 5 casualties, and in view of the time, Saturday morning, and place, city centre, the low number is almost miraculous. The charge was placed in a dustbin, and this confined seat made an estimate of explosive used very tricky. There appears to have been 5 to 10 pounds of gelignite involved. F 4th April, 13:25 hours. Upper Queens/Wellington Street, an incendiary device was found to have gone off, probably fired by sulfuric acid. No damage was done. G 5th April 04:45. The house of 78-year-old Mrs. Clara McGrath, 3 Ballyclare Street. No known motive unless, as at paragraph 34 above, to provoke local ill feeling with the old tactics of attacking elderly, young or infirm. H. 5th April, 23:36 hours. A device placed in the doorway of VAC Services, an electrical shop, damaged both this store and the Dior hairstylists next door. Premises were at 285/287 Tennant Street. I. 6th April, 22:30 hours. The general stores at 137 Woodstock Road. J. 6th April, 22:30 hours. Parkview Hotel at 166 Ravenhill Road. Both this and the previous simultaneous attack above involved only small damages. K. 11th April, 0110 and 0245 hours. 2 explosions at 78 to 82 Antrim Road, premises of J. Morgan and Son. An estimated £10 of charge and an estimated £2 of charge, detonated electronically. The firm's owner, William James Morgan, is a Protestant senator, ex-Stormont minister, and S. Antrim by-election candidate. Comment. In view of the probable tie-in between Paisley's UCDC and the UPV/UVF, it is quite possible that the last 2 blasts were AI to intimidate Morgan, possibly by an apparent IRA blow, and B, to gain support for Paisley candidates who could only benefit by a swing to the right in reaction against the so-called terror campaign. This UPV responsibility could also explain blasts B, C, G, I, J. The locations of the others, and especially the viciousness of E, make more sense if the IRA Brady group are provisionally blamed.
Of the remaining, the premises at D belonged to William Christie of the Ulster Unionist Party, who subsequently was Lord Mayor of Belfast from 1972 to 1975, and so fitted the pattern of attacks against officials of the ruling Unionist Party in this bomb wave. These bomb attacks included the attack on the Unionist Mayor's premises at B, and J, the double bomb attack on the premises of William Morgan, the ex-Stormont minister, and William Beattie's opponent to the South Antrim seat. The bomb attack at McCoyd's E resulted in 5 casualties, but could have resulted in many more. Its viciousness and the locations of the remainder, quote, make more sense if the IRA Brady, provisional IRA, are provisionally blamed. And they were. An IRA statement was published in the media purporting to be from the, quote, Provincial Army Council, Belfast Telegraph, 7th of April 1970, and claiming C, the bomb at John Temple's tailor's shop. It was signed by a Padraig Walsh, commandant of the IRA. It was patently nonsense, and the Provisional IRA Council of the IRA in Dublin disclaimed it as a bogus statement. And that was reported in the Belfast Telegraph on the 8th of April 1970. Quote, the Irish Republican Army disclaims all responsibility for this action, and the issuing of such false statement is highly irresponsible in present circumstances. We would like to remind news editors and journalists that all authentic statements from the Provisional Army Council will be issued on paper headed Irish Republican Publicity Bureau and will be signed P. O'Neill. End quote. None of this explosive British military intelligence was published in the media, of course. At best, articles at the same time were framed in such a way that the bombs were lumped in with news about trouble in the Catholic estate of Ballymurphy and IRA threats to kill British soldiers following threats by the British Army's General Officer commanding that his troops would shoot dead any petrol bombers. Stormont doubled the reward for information on the bombers to £10,000 on 6th of April, and again the news was wrapped up in content directed against IRA terrorists. The reader would naturally infer that the bombs were the work of the IRA, fears that were directly amplified by Protestant newspapers such as Paisley's Telegraph. Hours after Stormont's decision to double the reward, 2 bombs exploded in Protestant East Belfast, bombs I and J. Again, these bombs are attributed by British military intelligence to loyalists in their own area. On Tuesday 7th of April, an emergency debate was held at Westminster, and Jerry Fitt MP, no friend of the IRA by any stretch, argued, quote, he knew too that the IRA was not responsible for the recent Belfast bomb explosions and that Protestant extremists were the cause of the troubles. He reminded the House that after last year's explosions, various Protestants had been arrested. The British military agreed with Jerry Fitt.